I want to talk to you guys about branding today. My experience in branding is mostly, well, it's both small corporate and more on the individual scale. So that's really what I want to talk about. I think that Revy brings a lot of value to corporate branding. There's a lot that goes into corporate branding when you're talking about building a business from the ground up and making sure everything, fits together really well. But what I want to talk about tonight mostly is how to brand yourself, whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, whether you're in network marketing, whether you're making your way as a consultant, whether you just are, in college looking to get a job, or whatever your circumstances might be, whether you own a cleaning business, whether you, work a minimum wage job and you're trying to pick up a little side hustle, whatever it might be, we all need to have a brand. We need to develop our brand. So I did a quick Google search of branding because it's a very confusing topic and there's a lot of different takes on this, but I want to just share my take. And this is because I'm coming at this from a personal brand, not a corporate brand, okay? So let's just make that distinction. I'm talking about branding yourself, not building a company brand. Like I said, that's something that Revy needs to be involved with at some point, I feel, because she's very skilled in that area. But we're going to talk about building a personal brand. And my experience comes from being a network marketer for the last 2.5 years and really having to get out of the box and show myself to the one. I have mastered the live video. Like I said, most of the time it's with my hands, in my face doing my makeup, but I have mastered live videos, mastered how to put together really good posts, to share with people who I am, opening up my life a little bit. And I believe that that's part of the reason that I have been successful. So I want to kind of unpack that for you guys. So we have this concept of branding being a logo. And I want to kind of dispel that myth because there's so much more to it than that, okay? Yes, your logo is a part of your brand, but it's completely not the whole picture. And again, remember that we're talking about personal branding yourself. So I've messed around with logos a little bit, but for me as a makeup consultant, I don't really need a logo. I could have one. And if you were a consultant or a realtor or, you have a business where you are pretty much, maybe you're a massage therapist or you do hair, definitely a logo is important, and you want to consider what you're really trying to portray with that logo. But one of the things that I saw, branding is the promotion of a particular product or company by means of advertising and distinctive design. And I think that is the traditional way of looking at branding, but I want to give you guys more than that. I want you to look at branding differently than just what your design is. I want you to think about branding a different way. This is another definition that I really like. Excuse me. Branding is an overall experience of a customer that distinguishes an organization or product from its rivals in the eye of a user. Okay, this I feel like really hits the nail on the head because branding isn't what you say it is. Branding is what your customers say you are. So you can say, well, I am let's just use a real estate agent for an example. You can say, well, I am a knowledgeable, experienced, helpful real estate agent. But if you aren't portraying that to your customers and they get a different impression of you, that maybe you aren't very confident or you don't have that good of a listening ear, or maybe you're not very timely with your messages. If they get a different experience than what you say you are, they're right. Because that's what your brand is showing them. What your actions are and what your customers see is what your brand actually is. So you can say all day long till you're blue in the face, or you can think all day long that you're portraying a certain quality, but if that isn't translating to your customers and they can't say, oh, okay, I know her, she is a very good realtor, real estate agent, she is very, professional, knowledgeable, very helpful, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for being so consistent in your brand and in your communication, everything that you're putting out there, from your conversation to your graphics to videos that you might put together, ads that you might put together, interactions you have in meetings, interactions with customers. Everything you're putting out there is giving someone an impression and an experience of you. And that overall experience, what they say about you, is your brand. And that puts it on a whole different level. That makes it something that makes you responsible for living out your brand, not just saying, okay, this is my brand. Here's my logo, that's my brand. It's so much deeper than that. So you want your brand to create trust with your customers. You want your brand to create loyalty with your customers. You want to clearly deliver your message. You want to make sure that everybody knows what you're about. And so I like to suggest 5 things that you're about. So I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm in network marketing, like I said. So I have a social media presence, and it's related to my makeup and leadership. So I have a few different things that my brand kind of encompasses. And one thing that I wanted to make sure from the very beginning was that people know me as their makeup girl. So that's an easy one, right? They're gonna see me as their makeup girl. So that means I do makeup videos, I do makeup posts. If they think of someone who needs makeup, or if they need makeup, I want them to think of me. I am their go-to for makeup. So that's the number one thing of my brand for my makeup business. The next thing is I wanted to be inspiring. So I wanted to bring positive messages to people, help them to know they're beautiful with or without makeup, help them to know they're loved and cared for, regardless of what they do or don't do. So makeup girl, inspiring, mom. I like to post funny mom things, like about laundry, about my kids, kind of sarcastic stuff. So kind of a humorous mom type of image. Entrepreneur is a big one, because I teach people, how to, that they can do the business too, that they, how to do business. Sometimes I talk about different apps that I use, or books that I'm reading, or podcasts. And then my last one, it kind of fluctuates. Sometimes it's more about health and fitness. Sometimes it's more about faith. Sometimes it's, travel, I guess, would be the other one that maybe it sort of encompasses. But those are really the things that I want my brand to portray. So that means that I have to be consistent in delivering those messages. So if I'm looking at what I'm posting on social media, what I post on social media needs to stay in that general window. So whether you're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you are, you need to kind of filter, okay, I like this post, but it doesn't really tie in with my brand. And then you might decide not to post that. And so that's what you want to remember. Kind of hone in on your 5 skills now, or 5 things. If you can't decide what they are, go talk to your friends and family and say, what do you think about me? Like, when you think of me, what do you think? And you might get some things like funny, inspiring, competitive, smart, motivating, loves to travel, loves pets, loves her family, loves purses. It could be mom, wife, aunt. It could be anything like that. And so if you're getting stuck, first of all, that's a really good sign that you're probably not consistently branding yourself. I'll get to that, Dahlia. You're probably not consistently portraying your brand. if you don't know what your brand is. And then also once you do know, then you can get more specific and kind of hone in on what you're trying to portray. So the ultimate goal, right, is to get more customers, to attract more people to you. And so the more you can stay consistent with your brand and keep that message strong, then the easier it's going to be to get people to come back to you. So that's creating loyalty. When you cement your brand and get really consistent with your brand, you're going to create more loyalty from your customers. You're also going to start to engage the feelings of your customers, and that's always really important. You want their emotions connected to you as a salesperson, or really all of us are in sales, whether you're consulting, whether you're in real estate, whether you're you do what I do, like makeup sales, whether you're a coach, a health coach or a personal trainer, any of those things. You're in sales because you're either selling a product or a service. And sometimes that service is somebody else's service, but a lot of times it's your own if you're an entrepreneur. And so the goal is always to be getting more customers and more clients. And so if you can have a really strong brand, then your customers and clients are going to come back to you because they're going to start to form an emotional connection to you. Like, okay, that's Sara. I know what to expect from Sara. Sara she doesn't swear on Facebook. She talks about her family. She's kind of funny, a little bit funny. I'd like to be more funny, but I'm a little bit funny. Her makeup's usually on point. I know where to go if I need makeup. If I need some inspiration, I can probably go to Sara's page and find that too. And so they start to trust you, and that's a really big thing. And your brand doesn't have to be mine. It shouldn't be mine, but whatever your brand is, stick with it, work on it, stick with it, and then watch your customers start to be loyal to you because they know you and they know what to expect from you and they trust you. And it can even motivate them to buy. And just think about it this way, if you're throwing out confusing or conflicting things, like one day you're posting a Bible verse and the next day you're ripping somebody out on Facebook or you're posting like a rant, that's really conflicting. I mean, for most people, they're going to be like, okay, I get that you're not always in a good mood, but you don't really don't post a Bible verse or a be kind quote one day and then, choose somebody up and down the next day. That's not a consistent brand. So when they see confusing things, or even typos, like if you're trying to portray a professional brand and you have typos in your text, okay, that's gonna show that maybe you're not as thorough because you didn't go back and read what you wrote. I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I know that there are spelling and punctuation errors, but the idea is if you're trying to portray yourself one way and you want people to see you that way, you have to take care to make sure that you're doing that. If you have an Ivy League education, but you're not using punctuation, that's a little bit of a problem because they're going to say, did she really go to Yale or whatever? So you got to make sure that what you're doing stays in line with your brand. Yes, attention to detail. Thank you, Revi. You want to also keep in mind what your mission is. And I made a post this morning about serving people and serving others. Your mission should have something to do with how you're going to positively influence either a person, a group of people, a community, or, even a grander scale than that, how you're going to help or change or improve something. That will help you narrow down your brand. So for me, because I want to be known as the makeup girl, I want people to know they can come for me for tips and tricks on how to do their makeup. So that's a really easy one. I mean, if you're in real estate, I like that example. You'd be sharing homes, you'd be sharing ideas on how to obtain good financing. What are credible, who are credible lenders? What are credible interest rates right now? What's a good process for buying your first home? Those kinds of things. Bringing information is really key. And this is kind of where I want to land and finish up. And these are going to be some tips and tricks on how to do live videos. And this is something that when I started in my makeup company, you know, live videos was very emphasized because of how great of a tool it is for advertising. So right away, when I joined my company and started doing sales, right away I jumped in and started doing lives. And I promise you, I'm not saying this is a great live, but the lighting is good and the position of the camera is good. And I haven't fallen out of my chair or anything. So it's not bad. But they weren't always that good, but it's a process. But I want to just tell you a few little tips and tricks on live videos. So when you go live, if you're trying to promote yourself, I suggest that you make your lives public, because you can then ask people to share them and they can be shared onto other people's Facebook feeds. We're just talking about Facebook videos. I don't use Instagram videos as much, mostly because I feel like for me, Facebook is a really good platform for my business. Instagram is a great platform as well. I just have more, I don't see my network using Instagram stories and the Instagram TV like I see them using Facebook videos. So I choose to put most of my effort in Facebook. So anyway, for Facebook videos, it's good to give a little heads up what time you're going to be live, or else go live the same time, whenever that might be. If it's once a week, if it's daily, try to make it a regular common time. Like every Monday at 7, you'll be live, or, you know, join me. A theme is really good too. You know, I used to do, runway Sundays. So I would do like a glam makeup look on Sunday nights. But anyway, like get a regular time and, you know, commit to that and make sure that people know when you're going to be live. So either post ahead of time when you're going to be live or get a regular time. And then lighting is super important. I've used ring lights. Right now I have it's a Glamcore light. It's like a tablet light. It's about this big. And my phone is actually on a little thing connected to the mirror. So it's a lighted mirror, makeup mirror with a magnifying cell phone holder. And that's holding my phone just like it is, and it's on a stand, and then I have a bigger light behind me. So lighting is really big. It's even better if you can go live outside. I think the lighting outside, or even during the daytime, facing a window is really good too, if you can use more natural light. Have a topic for your live. Sometimes it's okay to ramble a little bit, but usually try to have a topic set up and title it. Try to make your title a little bit catchy or interesting to people so that they want to click and watch more. You can ask them to share. I've also seen people do like a share goal of 5. So then when people are hopping on, you might ask them to share the video, like I did at the beginning of this one, because there's a button down in the bottom left-hand corner where you can click share, and then you can click share and send it to your wall or to a Facebook Messenger chat. And that's a really good way to spread your message. And this is all just on a personal profile. We're not even talking about a business page live. Those you can actually advertise and stuff, which is great too. You know, make sure that you have your hair and makeup done. Not makeup necessarily, depending on if you are a makeup wearer or not, I guess. And let's see what else. Always have a good smile. Try not to talk too fast. Try not to wave your arms around too much. Try not to swivel in your seat too much. And, you know, I feel like you're either going to hook people in right away, or like in the case of me doing makeup videos, sometimes the longer ones, I get more views because people can kind of hop on and off when they want to, versus a short live where you might only be on for a few minutes. People, if they don't catch you, they might not see it to go back and watch it as a replay. It's always good to go back if people have commented, go back and reply to their comments. That really helps. But I really feel like live videos are key for developing your brand because people can really get to know you as a person. They can see who you really are. They can pick up on, you know, your vibe, your essence. They can say, okay, yeah, I know her. She's always got a smile on her face, or she's super helpful. Gosh, she knows a lot about that topic. Oh, she's funny to watch. You know, anything like that, that will really help you. You know, I think deciding whether you want to advertise more on your personal wall or on a business page, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that decision. And I don't know that I'm the best to decide or to help you decide that. Just know that on your wall, you can't advertise if you use your personal profile. And if you use a business page, you can advertise your live videos, which is a really good thing. But if you have a really big network on your personal page, then it's such an easy way to kind of break in. So, you know, that's a decision that needs to be made. But either way, the live video feature is the same.